Hey, what's up, everybody? St. R. Edwards here. Welcome back to the Ski channel, Swift Coding for everyone. Welcome to lesson 3. We are moving along quite well. Thank you guys for joining me again. I'm, very excited for you guys' growth so far in the Swift programming language, and we're going to keep this ball rolling. And so, in this particular lesson, we're going to talk about optionals, and we're going to talk about the nil value in this lesson as well. All right, so go ahead and open up a new playground and let's get started. All right, optionals. So optionals in Swift exist in cases where you may have a value for something or you may not have a value. All right, and so optionals basically provide a safe way for you to create your code, create and use your code. So what I'm going to do is to kind of exemplify optionals is I'm going to create a simple struct. I'm going to call my struct albums. All right, and then I'm going to set some properties. So I'll say var artist will be a string, and I'll say var title will be a string. I'll say var year will be an int. All right, and outside of the optional, we are going to create some objects of this. And so we're going to say, so I'll say var, I'll say let first album equal, and I'll say albums, to open in parentheses, and then title, it's an old school Jay-Z album, Reasonable Doubt classic, should have went triple. 1996 was the year it was released. Second album equals albums, and then I'll go Kanye on this one. Kanye West. Say the college dropout. And this was in 2004, I believe. And then I'll say let third album equal albums. And you can do whatever you want here. I think this is 2002. Get your mind correct. I think that was 2002. Yeah. All right, and then I'll say let favorite albums equals. I'm going to put these albums in an array, if I can spell. And then third album. All right, cool. Now let's say we wanted to create another album, but we weren't sure the release year was. So let's do this. So we're going to say let fourth album, or actually I'll do this, unannounced album equals albums. Because I still don't think this particular album has a set date on it yet, so I'm going to use this as an example. Artist, one of my favorite artists, Travis Scott. Can't wait for it though. Astro World, RIP to the legend. Can't believe they took away a theme park from a major city and turned it into a parking lot. And so for the year, it may come out this year. Currently it's 2018. It may come out in 2019. We don't know, but we want to make sure it's correct. Now, if I do 0, that wouldn't represent the album's release date properly, because obviously that would mean that the album is 2,000 years old and over 2,000 years old, and that's not true. And so, what do we do here? Um, if I used nil, would that work? Would nil work? No, nil is not compatible with expected argument type int. All right, so that brings us to optionals. All right, and so basically with an optional, I'm just gonna put 2018 for now, just so that error can go away. So basically with optionals, like I said before, it's, an optional can either have a value and you can use it, or it doesn't. It's nothing at all. All right, and so every Swift type has its own matching optional type, and the way that you create an optional is by just using the question mark. All right, and so just by creating using the question mark here, this int type, what it was before, is now an int optional for the year. So all of these are int optionals. All right, so now I can use this nil here, and I won't get that same error that we got before. All right, and so it's still unknown when Travis Scott's Astroworld album will come out, but hopefully it's soon. But for cases like this, you can use nil, but you got to make sure that you change the type from, whatever the case may be. It can be string. You got to make sure it becomes a string optional. You got to use the question mark. And just for this situation, we did the year, so it'll be year instead of an int. It'll be an int optional. You got to use the question mark, and then you can use the nil value, which is nothing. So think of an optional. It's more like a wrapper around the box, okay? And then when you open a box, like it can be a present or something. It would be a sucky present if nothing was in the box. But when you open up the box, when you unwrap it, something could be in there. It could hold value, or it could be completely empty. It could be nothing. So think of optionals that way. All right. And so another part of optionals is that you just can't use, as you saw up there, you just can't use nil. So for instance, like we can say var server response code. Like you can't just set this to nil, because it takes away Swift's safety type, feature away, because there is no type associated with this. It could be an int, it could be a bool, it could be a string. Swift doesn't know. It's trying to set you up for success, and really help you out. So you got to give it a type at least. So as you can see, it says nil requires a contextual type over here in our error. All right, so if we did something like this, if we said int and then the question mark, which is an optional, and now when you hit option and then you click on server response code, it'll tell you that it's an int optional. All right, and so now you can use it, even though it doesn't currently hold a value, but later on it could hold a value. All right, so right now there's nothing in it, but later on it could hold a value. All right, so just dwell on that, practice with that a little bit. Stay tuned for more of the Ski channel. This is St. R. Edwards checking out. You guys take care.